What's going on, you guys? As soon as young men turn 18, they will be registered for the U.S. military. What?
Let's start talking about the possibility of the U.S. draft coming back. So the U.S. military will automatically register eligible men for the Selective Service draft system a bit later this year. Previously, the onus was on the men to register themselves. So that's going to definitely impact families of young men. Think late teens, early 20s, and beyond. So if you're curious, what is the Selective Service system? It's the military draft, and it was established back in 1917 by President Woodrow Wilson after the U.S. entered World War I. So that puts some things into perspective for you as to where this stands. And if we're calling this back, it must mean this is some serious stuff to our government. Under federal law, most men between 18 and 25 are required to register with the Selective Service system in case Congress and the President authorize a military draft. So right now, though, they have to self-register within 30 days of their 18th birthday, but they're allowed to register late without penalty until they turn 26. So that's been the sort of workaround here, if you think about it that way. Failure to register is considered a crime that could disqualify you from student loans, most federal jobs, and U.S. citizenship for immigrants, Stars and Stripes reports. So when you think of the phrase draft dodger, it comes from this.
Wow.
Women are still exempt from registering, though.
Equality? I mean, okay. Interesting. I mean, that's how it's always been, but all right.
A new rule passed by Congress just last year will automatically register those eligible men in the system, which transfers responsibility for registration from individual men to SSS through integration of federal data sources. This is, again, all coming from the SSS website. So here's the big picture. Draft registration has declined.
Bro. Bro. The majority of men, I shouldn't say the majority, but realistically, a lot of people are not going to even be able to pass the physical part of the test. Popeyes taste too good. I'm not trying to poke fun at this young man right here, but like, this is, I mean, why do you think the rates have been declining as much as they have been? Guys are just tuned out of that. Like, as soon as they graduate high school and they don't have to do phys ed anymore, they just chilling, they lounging, they're living their life, they're playing the game. In a sense, it's good. A lot of men can find a sense of purpose, get back in shape, you know, rediscover that sense of patriotism, right? But this kind of brings light to a whole different topic that we'll probably get to sometime in the future, not for this video, but a lot of guys are going to get whipped into shape. So let's take the good with the bad, but let's continue.
So here's the big picture. Draft registration has declined in recent years. And don't just...
We just mentioned that.
Take my word from it. It's coming from the Military Times that monitors this especially closely. And they say that it's in part because federal student loan forms removed the option to register back in 2022. So if you're curious as to when the military draft will become automatic, here's a look at the timeline. According to the Selective Service system, it's hard to say. Try it 10 times fast. Automatic registration will be in place by December of this year. Wow. I mean, we're gonna talk about it, but I kind of want a little bit more detail. There's a image that I found earlier, and it talks about the transition. But the most important thing is right here. If you want to look at it, it's on the U.S. Army website. So I encourage you to go check it out. But check this out right here. What changed? Congress mandated automatic, just as she mentioned, Selective Service registration in the full year 2026 National Defense Authorization Act, signed in December 2025. So when they keep saying that, you know, the ball has been rolling before this Iran conflict, this is kind of what they're referring to, because the recent Iran conflict began right at the end of February, right? Beginning of March 2026. But this was signed in December 2025. It kind of, I don't want to say it got snuck into this, but it got snuck into it. And a lot of people that weren't paying attention missed it. But
well, we'll talk about that. Let's see what else is going on, because I kind of want a little bit more detail, a little bit more information about this, outside of the fact that it's December 2025.
Okay, just a couple minutes to the top of the hour here on your Friday morning. And let's look ahead now, because starting in December, every eligible male in the United States will be automatically registered for the military draft pool. Now, this doesn't mean the draft is coming back, though the White House does say all options are on the table during this Iran war. But Nick is following this one closely for us. And Nick, Republicans and Democrats say this is a good thing that will save money and really streamline the country's selective service.
That's another thing that has to be pointed out. Everything that I'm seeing so far, I mean, it's early, but everything that I've seen so far has said that it has been a bipartisan decision. Bipartisan. Let's go.
System. So this has bipartisan support.
It has bipartisan support, Mark, and that's all because it would help to save money, because all the process would work across the country. This is the deal. This is how it goes. This was already approved in the last defense bill. Right now is waiting to be finalized. But the key thing here is this. This is about registration, not an active draft. That would take an act of Congress. The draft is a database of men who could be called to serve if the armed forces has a national emergency.
That's a huge point.
This country hasn't had one since the Vietnam War, but this rule would shift registration for that database from individuals to the government. So how does the government actually save money? Well, partially by not having to do outreach like...
Why are they making it seem like this is just to save money? As soon as a boy turns into an 18-year-old man, on his 18th birthday, it's automatically sent and registered. It's kind of like, oh man, I hate to make this comparison, but it's kind of like when a girl turns 18 and she launches her OnlyFans on her 18th birthday, literally at the stroke of midnight, right? So it's like now, as soon as a guy turns 18, you're automatically registered in the system to serve or be registered in the military, right? And as you mentioned, it will cause an act of Congress to actually be drafted. But keep in mind, we're going to look at that graphic in a minute, but how it had worked in the past was there's certain locations where you can physically get literature to register, or you can not physically, but you know what I mean? You can register online or in person, right? So they're taking that away from you in an effort to save time and money, resources, to just do it for you. Oh, you're 18 now? Go on down to the registration and fight for your country.
The signs you see at the post office and federal buildings, reminding men of their obligation. A handful of states already have automatic registration, while all but 4 offer registration options on driver's license applications. Now, some states do require people to opt out if they do not want their information shared with the Selective Service when they get their licenses. And some anti-war activists tell the New York Post they're worried that this is a data grab by the government and illegal immigrants, and those with green cards would be targeted.
Huge point. Huge point. It kind of is a data grab. As soon as you apply for your driver's license or turn 18, whichever. Some people don't get it right at 16, but you know what I mean. As soon as you register, they're like, all right, he'll be 18 soon, or oh, he's 18 now. And it's like, register for this, sign up for that. So it's like, obviously they know your age, and it's not like an invasion of privacy in that regard, but you should be able to opt in. And it's like a lot of people are concerned that this is a slow transition into something else. But you should definitely have the option to not opt in. That's all I'm saying.
It is important to mention, though, Markey, that women still would not be required to register. And those who are registered at the age of 18, it would become automatic.
Okay, good to know. But when you say draft, there is real fear there.
There is fear.
And I think for anybody with a son, wants to know what this is going to look like moving forward. So thank you for those latest updates there. We'll stay on top of this story.
Thank you for watching.
Look, I want to talk to you about this right here. Let's get into this. We already mentioned that when it starts, December 18th, 2026, who is affected? Most males aged 18 to 25, including U.S. citizens and eligible immigrants. I'm not going to bore you with the entirety of this website, but again, it is usarmy.com. Go to the blog and you'll see it. All right, what else? Right here. How it works. The Selective Service System, SSS, will use federal databases like Social Security Administration records to register eligible men automatically. No action required on your part, whereas in the past, you had to take action online or in person. Does this mean a draft is coming? No. It is an administrative update only. Activating a draft still requires a separate act of Congress. And as I mentioned earlier, hopefully you guys can see this. Let me see if I can zoom in real quick. All right, boom, right here. Congress mandated automatic selective service registration in the full year 2026 National Defense Authorization Act, signed December 2025. At the time of this recording, it's April, so what is that, 4 or 5 months ago? A lot of people missed it, but this is what it is. I encourage you to read it. Go to the website and pay attention, whether you are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or you're a parent and you have a child, a young man that's about to enter this age, this realm. But it's very important. Pay attention. It's going to be a lot of people that's going to start eating a whole lot of Popeyes. Shit, getting fat, not wanting to. Look, a lot of people can't pass the physical test to join the military. A lot of them can't. And a lot of people are going to start making excuses. Be like, war.
What?
Draft.
What?
They're going to be like, I don't speak English, because you got to keep in mind. Again, I'm not going to go through the entire website, but there's something here that talks about immigrants as well. People with PR. Where is it? This is how it is. This is how it was. This is how it is. There's something else here. All right. I'll look for it later. But essentially it talks about immigrants, people that have PR cards, green cards. It's somewhere here. I'm just not finding it right now. But they're coming for all y'all, man. 18 to 25. It's going to be a whole lot of, I don't know English. They're going to be like, sorry, you need to register. You're how old? I'm 18. Yo no sé. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to just have every excuse in the book. But it is what it is. It's automatic. Pay attention. Go to this website. I implore you to go to this website. Check it out. A lot of stuff that I was reading earlier on Twitter. Tap in, you guys. Tap in. This, again, Congress mandated automatic selective service registration. The National Defense Authorization Act. Check it out when you get a chance. That's enough for now. I'll talk to you later. Peace.